Hi there. This is Tony from the NGS Academy team for the Africa CDC. We're here in Kalifi at the Kemri Wellcome Trust. This is our third iteration of the Advanced Bioinformatics training. Here we have one of our participants. Tell us about yourself.
My name is Beky Beti from Tanzania. Our institute called Kilimanjaro Clinical Research Institute. I've been working there as a HPC admin and also doing some bioinformatics work, introduced it to bioinformatics work.
Okay. How long have you been working in sort of the field of science before you transition into bioinformatics?
Uh, I can say I've been working. It's like 3 years I've been working in IT stuffs.
Okay.
IT stuffs. Then after that, I introduced to fully to bioinformatics. I can say I have 2 years in bioinformatics now, fully.
Okay, so you sort of come from a computer background, so
Yes.
like more programming, coding.
Yeah.
Then you sort of slowly transition into the field of bioinformatics. Was that as a result of the COVID pandemic, or
No, because I found some, I found my supervisor.
yes?
They were doing bacteria sequencing.
I see.
Yeah, so that's where I picked and all that. And because there were like few people who could do some mathematics work, though as it requires some computation, some IT stuff. So
Yes,
they say, let us join you. So
give you
that,
the opportunity
yeah,
to come out.
yeah,
Did you find it a sort of hard transition going from computational into biology, where you have to start making sense of the data, look at the phylogenetics analysis?
really, it's really challenging. The thing, the what I can say, it's a huge field and it has so many things.
Okay.
And those so many things, they are not well organized. I can
Yes.
say, yeah. So you may start learning phylogenetic, and but there are other people who are doing this. They are doing cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there are other people who also are doing other like they're doing
Different
yeah,
pathogens.
different pathogen. So it's not that very straightforward, and it's requiring lots of practice, lots of theories to understand how the biology is, and how we can apply computation in that biology.
Yes, I mean, you make a good point. I'm sure in Tanzania there's a lot of, bacteria as well as other pathogens like fungi or viral.
Yeah,
And then, you just have to start off with sample collection. Like, where do you start collecting sample? From the stool, from the river, from blood. And then, you start with the wet lab, which is extraction, PCR. And then
yes,
once you have that, now you need to run that through the machine, whether it's ONT, Illumina,
yeah,
MySeq. And then once you have your set of data, then you have to lay the computational part on top of that,
yeah,
and then run it. And then now you have the data, and now you have to do the visualization where you have to see, okay, this is a phylogeny, and this is where the branching occurs. So it's a lot of complex and convoluted topic, all
yeah,
combined into one.
yes.
What were some of the big challenges for you coming into this sort of unorganized field of bioinformatics?
Uh, the challenge, what you can say, the challenge is learning.
Okay,
Where actually can I learn this?
right.
Yeah, so where mm, what I've also seen is everyone is doing the way he or she find that easy, or find that thing is compatible to what he's
Okay.
doing based on the skill set of
Yes.
that person. So you may find this mathematician doing this way and the other bioinformatician doing this way,
Mm.
which is kind of confusing. You, as a beginner, you don't know where to start actually. You don't know where
Yeah,
to
you're
start actually.
overwhelmed by the
Yeah,
amount of
yeah,
information, and you need sort of a structured
yeah,
learning,
yes,
and that's what we are trying to do at the course at Kimry. So,
yes,
the first year you came, you learned about containers, different workflows. And
Yes.
then second year was a bit more advanced. There was bio, Python, coding, and now the third year, you sort of put the knowledge of what you learned from the past 2 years to work on your group project
Yes.
and running the workflows of the pipelines. What were some of the sort of biggest gains you have, took from the course? Was it something you learned? Was it something that you could use when you get back home?
Yeah, yeah, it's a lot. So what I can say, the first course was the eye opener to me because I really see how the things are, how because it's hand on, so I really understand what to do
Okay.
and how I can, and I really understand. That's where I understand. Oh, there, these bioinformaticians do this way and others do this way. Because
Okay.
I try to compare what in my home institution they are doing, what the bioinformatician in my home institution are doing, and what's also this course offer. So it was really eye opening to me, and I find this one is very the tools which we are using in this course, they're used. That's how it's like a standard way how people use those tools. Yeah, so it's very an eye opener to me, and I get to know different aspects. Like I get to know how they do it in bacteria, how the processes are in bacteria, how the processes are in virus. Yes, for real, it's very an eye opener, and also I got an opportunity to learn from others. It's very good for me because I've learned from others, and uh, and the other thing is it's very uh, networking.
Yes.
Yeah. Like I remember when I was at my home institution, somewhere we failed to do something, so I asked someone and give me a good guide on how to do that. So it's very useful, very useful.
Right. So, from the course, you gain different perspective from the trainers, and then by sort of utilizing that with hands-on practice, you also engage with other participants,
Yes.
and then that's exchange of ideas, collaboration.
Yeah.
And then in terms of the training you have gone through, SnakeMake, you were introduced to Nextflow. Do you use any of those back at home? Is there a big supporting structure in Tanzania for if you run into troubleshooting that you need help with?
I can say there's not that many politicians who
Okay.
use those kind of workflow in Tanzania, but we, for us, we are partnering with the NTU,
Okay.
and we have seen they are also trying to implement most of their workflow in SnakeMake and also Nextflow. So, in terms of support, it's not that then I can say it's not that high support. It's
Okay.
not that big, but but I think we are the one. I can say we are the one who can bring that support, and also we can try to teach other people, teach other people who are doing informatics and all that.
Right, so just to pass on the knowledge you've learned from here and be that
Yeah.
sort of beacon. You mentioned DTUs that your partner. What does that stand for?
Denmark Technical University.
Okay, so that's overseas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because so at the past, most of their workflow they were using only
Oh,
Bash.
Bash. Okay.
But I've seen like we were doing we downloaded one of the workflow, and I was surprised to see it in SnakeMake. So because I had the knowledge here, it was
Okay.
very easy to implement that SnakeMake workflow.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Though I was. The other thing is it's helped a lot because my friend has a biology background, but it's not that skill set. It's not. He doesn't have that good skill set.
Computation.
So I'm the one who helped him also how we can. So it's really good. I got the skills which I got here. I really implement with my colleagues.
Right. So you sort of integrate your IT background with,
Yes.
someone who's more strong in biology, but they don't, necessarily can code that well.
Yeah.
And by working together, you sort of collaborate, generate data, and then you can analyze.
Yes.
I see. And then in terms of the course now, you've been here now for the third year in Kenya. Do you find it sort of very different from Tanzania? Back home when your institution, if you see what's happening with the COVID pandemic, each country were acted differently,
Yeah.
and you saw many of the African countries had a huge gap and shortages in the healthcare system.
Yes.
They dealt it much worse than someone in America or Europe with the developed countries. Do you see that change or?
What I can say, yeah, there was COVID, but in Tanzania, we, at some for some reason we could. It was not easy to get the COVID data. So
Oh, okay.
by that time, so it was not easy to get those data, and there are people who see us, but I think most of the national lab.
Yes.
Yeah, so. For real, I cannot say anything about that, about the COVID thing, but I've seen most people now are trying to do the bacteria and virus,
Bacteria. Okay.
bacteria and virus, but they don't know more about the COVID sequencing.
So, are there sort of labs or institutions in Tanzania that's doing routine sequence?
Yeah, there are those who are doing routine sequencing, but I can tell you from this my little knowledge, most of them they depend from outside.
So
They depend from the partner countries,
from
like,
Europe. Or,
yeah, from Europe, from America.
all right.
Yeah,
And then in terms of being a scientist or bioinformatician in Tanzania, do you see a lack of funding, resources with its infrastructure?
yeah.
I mean, you said you have a HPC. Or was that new, or have you had it for many years?
Uh, it's new.
Okay.
Yeah, it has only it just the capacity which we had in the past.
Yes.
Even me, I found that capacity. It is very small capacity. There are
Okay.
like three laptops.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the computation was done on those three laptops.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but my supervisor and also my supervisors, they try a lot long time ago, but I mean the last 2 years they managed to secure a good fund and they really bought good servers.
Yes.
Yeah. So I can say, um, I don't know, maybe the other institution have the capacity.
Right.
Yeah, but maybe they don't also use that capacity for bioinformatics. So because
I see.
I have seen.
So now you have the infrastructure in place. There is some funding. Is there enough sort of people with the actual skills to analyze data to actually work through this?
No, there are not much people with enough skills, I can say. And this course is the one which I can say it's building me. I can say it's building me to have skills, me and others to have these good skills. And at the start, I didn't know where to start at the beginning because we were just there was a guy who was doing mathematics, and that guy left, so we are the one who remained to start doing
Okay.
those start doing the bioinformatics. So I can say this course came in place last year. So it was for me. It was an eye opener. So I really understand how the things are working.
Yes.
And,
No.
and I'm trying day to day to learn and to understand how the things are working, how the scientists behind it, and all that. The scientists on the biology part,
Yes.
and also the computation part also.
No, no. I think you said it quite eloquently. When times are changing, there's going to be opportunities, and you have to prepare yourself. Upgrade your skill set, make sure that you are sort of exposed to the latest technology, be able to start adapting.
Yes.
I mean, we are in the fourth industrial revolution, so everything is moving. I mean, AI is coming out.
Yeah.
You've seen the training earlier in the week. We have the trainers actually show you how to use some AIs to integrate into your work. Do you think you use that back at home?
Yeah. I mean, they have been showing us like in this training, and also the last training they showed us how to use it.
Okay.
And I've been using it a lot because it's very
Convenient.
useful and convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing like I can tell you, the things which we could search for 1 week, so we can just search that thing for a second. Get the
Oh, right. It has reduced like the amount of time that you need to spend.
yeah,
And obviously, if you can find it quickly and efficiently, you can obviously just make small tweaks to make sure it fits in your work.
yes, yes.
I see. So as we come to the end of this, I want to sort of ask you, are there, any advice that you have for young scientists that might want to come into the field of bioinformatics? Any sort of mistakes that you have made to share your experience with them?
Uh, the experience which I can share with them is the field is very huge,
Yes.
and yeah, yeah. So what I can tell them to, if they can get someone who has a background in biology and also has a good background in computation,
Yes.
so yeah, that person can fill the gap.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Early when that person is want to join the career, wants to start learning, that
Yes.
person can fill the gap early because there's no if you want to do some web development, if you want to do some, let's say, network administration,
Okay.
you can just go to a site and ask them. You can just go to the web and search how you can become, how you can, and you can get some sort of standard way. Like you can get some sort of instruction how you can begin and all that, which is in bioinformatics is not that straightforward.
Right.
Yeah, it's not something which you can search like, yeah, I want to be a web developer. How can I go? Which steps can I go? It's not that simple.
Right.
It involves people.
Yes.
It involves people from the lab. It involves people from computation, and there are so many things to learn in the lab. I think I will advise someone to start learning from the lab.
Yeah.
What the guys are doing, and how the research is, how they do the research. After that, you should know all the things, what the machines they're using, how the sample are collected, which kit they're using in the lab, how they do. After that, that person can move to computational, what the tools and why they're doing, what tools they use and why they are using that tool, what they're doing with that tool. I think that is someone can grab the skills easily and quickly.
Right. So basically, really understand how the processes are being done, the wet lab aspect, whether
Yes.
it's PCR, extraction,
Yeah,
sample paper,
yeah.
to understand those SOPs. And then once you sort of understand the fundamental,
Yes.
and then obviously you move on to the computer aspect, which is how to, start doing
Yeah.
the workflows, the coding, and
Yes,
then
yes.
with a holistic view of the whole process. You might not be an expert in, each part,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
at least you can see how it's fitting together and
Yes,
where
yes.
you actually fit in the whole supply chain.
Yeah, yeah, really, really. Because knowing only computational is very hard.
Yeah.
Knowing the computational process, yeah, I may say, yeah, you can really know the computational process, but there's so many things which are done in the lab, which are
Yes.
very useful for a bioinformatician or a computer guy.
Yes.
Yeah, they're very useful things which you can apply in the computation. You can learn from the lab.
Yes, certainly.
And then it will be very easy to ask what has been done, what if something goes wrong,
Yes.
you can easily tell or you can easily understand there's something which they did in the lab that's which caused this problem. But if you don't have that
Knowledge.
the wet lab knowledge, it will be very hard for you to
Isolate the problem.
yeah.
Because you would know, like, maybe there's contamination. That means someone in the lab didn't wash their hands, or I see what you mean. Okay, no. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Okay.